All right, Pickle. We got one more thing to do today. And that is to take a look at, start with our 2020 college football postmortems.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a look at the 2020 college football postmortems. The 12 FBS teams in the state of Texas. We're going to do 3 a day, each day through the course of the week. We're going to do go in alphabetical order for the most part. We switch up a couple of them because I don't want to do Texas and Texas A&M on the same day.
Yeah.
Simple. So we're going to start at the top. We're going to start with the Baylor Bears. The Baylor Bears in Dave Aranda's first year go 2-7 on the year.
Not ideal.
Disappointing. So we're going to hand out some grades. First grade for the offense. Offensive grade, D+. And I think I'm being a little bit generous here.
Yeah, considering that they didn't know what in the world to do with their quarterback.
So a lot of this comes down to, obviously, like not pushing the ball down the field, right? They were 109th in the nation in yards per pass with Charlie Brewer. Not pushing the ball down the field. That's okay. You can live like that if you're running the ball effectively. But they didn't do that either.
No, so you can't play conservative in the passing game with a veteran quarterback.
Right. And as a result, they ended up just not, now part of it I think is that they couldn't protect Charlie Brewer very well. And that's obviously part of it. But I think overall, the offense sputtered because, a lot of it comes down to the offensive line. I think the offensive line underachieved. They weren't able to protect Charlie Brewer. They weren't able to establish the run with any sort of consistency. And then, at that point, they were not able to adjust to be able to push the ball down the field and get any sort of offensive consistency. So, Baylor's offense, for me, gets a D+. On the defensive side, a little bit more bullish.
Yeah.
Defensive side, I'm going to give them a B.
I like
Now,
this.
we thought Dave Aranda, of course, was the longtime defensive coordinator for LSU. We figured that the defense was going to be pretty good whenever he took over. And I would say it is at least on schedule, if not a little bit ahead of schedule. I thought they were pretty good. I thought the secondary was pretty darn solid.
Yep.
I thought that the pass rush was okay.
And they lost some key pieces on their defensive side of the ball this year, too, so that was big.
They got beat up a little bit, run of the ball, a little bit. But overall, I would say that they were a team that defensively lived up to expectations. I thought that they especially they had some strength in the secondary, and I think that shone through in a way that kept them in games while their offense was really struggling. So for Baylor, I would give them a B on the defensive side. So now let's go to
Team MVP.
Team MVP. I'm going to give it to Jalen Petrie, their defensive back. I thought he was their best overall player. I thought that he was a guy that led that secondary in a real way. And as a result, I think that he is going to, I believe he is now gone for the, I think he's leaving, or is he back? Is Jalen Petrie back?
I think he's gone.
Let's see. Jalen Petrie is, I'm looking at this. No, Jalen Petrie should be coming back. So I think that's a guy that I think
is he coming back because of COVID?
Yeah.
Rule? Okay.
Yeah, he's coming back. I think he's going to get one more. He's at least
taking that COVID red shirt.
So I would say that he is going to, he's a guy that I think is very solid and a guy that you can build that secondary around. So as a result, he gets my team MVP. So what do we do as far as going forward in 2020?
Do better.
2021. So
you can't go 2-7.
You can't go 2-7. That's a really interesting way to put that. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't go 2-7. Tough but fair. Here's the thing. They do bring back a decent amount of that defense. Okay. They bring back a good amount of that defense, and I think it's reasonable to expect the defense to take a modest step forward. Right. I think that they do bring back a fair amount of their defense. The offense is going to be doing some retooling. Charlie Brewer's transferring. They're going to need to,
Fedora has to find someone that he trusts.
Oh,
that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing for sure.
Like you got to find someone that you can use.
You don't know who they're going to pick, but they're losing John Lovett. John Lovett's transferring as well. A lot of these guys are moving, but I think maybe they could use a refresh offensively. Now they are going to, they're going to figure out Jeff Grimes, the new offensive coordinator. He's going to step in and be their offensive coordinator. moving in from BYU. Can they find a way to fit the pieces they have on campus? Mm-hmm. Do they have a quarterback on campus right now? Like, we don't know. Like, whether you're talking about some of the backups that they kind of refuse to play.
Yeah.
Or you're talking about some of the newcomers. Do they have a quarterback on campus? And furthermore, do they have the pieces around them, and can that offensive line take a step forward? I think that's a big question. I think a lot of times you look at kind of what they have coming back and you'd be like, "Oh, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be great." What I will say though is with that with Jeff Grimes coming in and taking over the offense, maybe that's a positive. Mm-hmm. Maybe he gets a more of a clean slate to install what he wants.
Right.
So I think a disappointing year for Baylor in year 1 of Dave Aranda. We'll see what year 2 has.